Hey guys, Cameron with CPM Reviews here, and I am about a month late with this video, but I did want to give you a play-by-play of every single comic book movie coming out in 2022. These are going to be the live action, these are going to be the animated, these are going to be the ones that are on your radar and the ones you had no idea coming out. And I'm also going to rank them as far as how excited I am for them, and it's going to be from 1 to 15. That's right, there are 15 comic book movies coming out this year, and I'm going to give you essentially the 411. So stick around. We are almost getting ready to get into this list, but I wanted to thank you guys for clicking on this video. It means a whole lot to me. If you're a fan of this sort of thing, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to know as soon as anything gets uploaded, hit that notification bell. You'll know as soon as it goes live. As I said before, this is going to be a list of what comes out, when it comes out, and how excited I am for it. This is not going to be like a grade or anything of that sort, just my level of excitement going on. And I will be ranking them from 1 to 15. So if there's something that you're looking forward to and you rank yours higher than mine, go ahead and put down what you ranked it and where in the comment section down below. But having said that, let's get started with the very first comic book movie that has already been released. This is Catwoman Hunted. Catwoman Hunted was released on February 8th directly to like Amazon Prime and YouTube renting and that sort of thing. It was directed by Shinsuke Terasawa, and it stars Elizabeth Gillies, Stephanie Beatriz, Kirby Howell-Baptiste, and Keith David. This is essentially almost standalone piece with Catwoman, but there's a lot of Batwoman in there. And I already have given a review of this movie, so if you want to see my review of Catwoman Hunted, you can click right up here and it'll take you, and I'll give my more detailed idea of it. But as far as how excited I was for this movie, it's only ranked an 11. So keep that on your scorecard. It's an 11 for me. Next movie coming out is The Batman. This is the big 3-hour epic that is going to be coming out next month. March the 4th is the release date for this, and it's directed by Matt Reeves. It stars Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, and Colin Farrell. This is, of course, kind of like a new whatever. Instead of it being Ben Affleck, who was the last Batman, this is a new one, and it definitely has a much darker tone. Given the seriousness that they're putting on the story and the gravity that they're giving the characters, this one's actually very high for me, even though I am not the biggest Batman fan. But having said that, this movie is very exciting. This one is number 2 for me. It is number 2. There's only one movie coming out this year as far as comic book movies are concerned that I'm more excited to see. The next movie is Morbius, which is going to be coming out on April the 1st. And yes, this is an April Fool's movie because it's been pushed back so many times. Like, I've mentioned this movie now 3 times in the it's coming out this year. First in 2020, then in 2021, and here we are again with Morbius on this list. It's directed by Daniel Espinosa, and it stars Jared Leto, Adria Arjona, Matt Smith, and Michael Keaton. I'm not a huge fan of the way that this movie kind of like presents itself. I do like Morbius as the character. I've talked about this 3 times, so I really feel like I don't need to, repeat myself, but the more and more they delay this, the less and less that I'm excited. This is a 10. This is a 10. This is one of the lowest ranked live action movies on my list. And it's just, it's kind of like the New Mutants all over again. It gets pushed back to the point to where I don't even care anymore. The next movie on this list is kind of a movie, kind of not, and this is a mouthful, and I don't like movies that give me mouthfuls, so bear with me. But this is Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls Mayhem in the Multiverse. This is not going to be the first multiverse movie on this list, but this is this one, and it's, I believe, a direct-to-TV movie, but it stars everybody that's in the Teen Titans Go and the DC Superhero Girls. They all come together. So the casting from both those 2 shows are going to be comprising the giant cast here. And I think it's going straight to Cartoon Network, but they are promoting it as an actual movie. I don't like Teen Titans Go, 15. The next one, and this is going to be an estimation of when it comes out because all of the things that I looked for online just say early 2022. This is going to be Constantine House of Mystery. I'm estimating it's going to be coming out in late April, and we don't know much about it at all. As far as right now, we know that it's a short film, so it may only be like 30 minutes long, but it is also interactive from the things that I've read. It also has conflicting starring roles. Like I read one place that it's Bruce Greenwood playing Constantine, and then I read in two other places that it was Matt Ryan who was reprising the role, who did the live action and the voice work for Constantine and some of the DC animated stuff, and on the CW stuff as well. I really hope it's Matt Ryan, but it's hard for me to get excited when I don't know much about it, even like an estimated arrival time, even though I'm usually pretty good about figuring out when stuff comes out. This one's going to be a 9 for me because I actually enjoyed a lot of the animated things Constantine has done, like Constantine City of Demons, and then in Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Is that what it was called? I can't remember. There's a review of it if you want to check it out. Next on the list is the MCU's first entry into 2022, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I told you the multiverse was coming back. This one's going to be released on May the 6th, and it's directed by Sam Raimi. Scott Dickinson was originally supposed to be directing the sequel, but he bowed out, and Sam came in to finish the job, which I'm really looking forward to that. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Wong, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Elizabeth Wilson. This is coming right off the heels of Spider-Man No Way Home, in which Doctor Strange was in that, as well as WandaVision, which Scarlet Witch was in that. And I'm definitely looking forward to it, but it's not going to be as high as The Batman was. This one's going to be a number 4 on this list. So this is another high one that I'm definitely looking forward to. The trailer that came out right after No Way Home was very excitable for me, but it didn't quite get in the top 3. Next on the list is another May movie. This is DC League of Super Pets. This is a CG animated movie coming out on May the 20th. It's being directed by 2 people, Jared Stern and Sam Levine, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Kevin Hart, Vanessa Bayer, and Natasha Lyonne. This is essentially talking about Crypto the Super Dog and Ace the Bat Hound, and another assortment of animals belonging to either Green Lantern or probably Wonder Woman. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Even though this is going to be a big budget release and The Rock and Kevin Hart are attached to it, it still is only getting a 14 from me. Only Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls could save it from the bottom of the rung for me. And that's not saying the movie's going to be bad. Remember, this is not me rating how I think the movies are going to be. This is just, am I excited for it? In this case, no. Next, coming up a little bit more than a month after, we have Thor: Love and Thunder. This is the 4th movie in the Thor series, coming out on July the 8th, directed by Taika Waititi, who came off of directing Thor: Ragnarok. This one's starring Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson, and Christian Bale. I will be honest with you, I have enjoyed the Thor movies for what they are, but I've never been super excited about the Thor movies. I mean, I did enjoy Thor: Ragnarok. I think it was the best out of the 3, and I think that Taika is a great director. After watching Thor: Ragnarok, I actually watched some of the other movies that he had directed, and I wasn't disappointed. However, this doesn't even break the top 5 for me because even though Thor is one of the last remaining characters from the original Phase 1 that is still in the universe, I just don't have a whole lot of love churning for Thor. Like, he was definitely not in my top 5 characters in Avengers Endgame, so, you know, he's not in the top 5 here. And that's nothing against the character itself, it's just not my favorite. I still gave it a number 6 in my slot of movies that I'm excited for this year. Next, and this is another estimated release because we don't know that much about it, we have Green Lantern Beware My Power. I'm estimating this to come out in mid to late July. And we don't have any cast, we don't have a director, we don't have a plot, we don't have anything. But this is a DC animated project, and I think it's going to be pretty decent. In the same vein as Superman Man of Tomorrow, I'm hoping that it's going to be somewhat like that. Still, it's hard to get excited for something I don't know about, so this is going to be number 12 on my list. Next, we're going back to The Rock with Black Adam, another movie that's been pushed back quite a bit because of reasons. This one's now been locked in as a release for July the 29th. It's being directed by Jaume Collet-Serra, and it stars Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Sarah Shahi, Aldous Hodge, and Pierce Brosnan. This one, I'm not exactly sure how excited I am about it, even though this is kind of like on the back of Shazam. The characters are very closely related, and I loved Shazam. Shazam was one of my favorite movies back when it came out. This one's not going to ride that high, only an 8. But that doesn't mean that I am not going to enjoy it. I think I'm going to enjoy it. It's just, it's right in the middle of the pack. You get what I'm saying? Next on the list, we're skipping 2 whole months, August and September. Where y'all at? We're going straight to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Part 1. And this one is going to be coming out estimated on October the 7th, directed by 3 different people. Joaquin Dos Santos, Kent Powers, and Justin K. Thompson. It stars a lot of the same people that were in the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, with Shameik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Oscar Isaac, and Issa Rae. I really loved the first Spider-Verse. In fact, in my opinion, I think it's the second best Spider-Man movie to come out, only barely behind Spider-Man 2. And so for this, with everybody coming back, I think that they are coming out with an amazing story. Good reasons for everybody to be coming back. This one hits the number 1 spot. This one hits the number 1 spot because now we have something to compare it to. And if it's even close to what the first one was, it's going to live up to that hype. This is the last DC animated movie on this list. And this one is actually the DC Animated's first completely CG animated feature, Battle of the Super Sons. I'm estimating this to come out in mid to late October, and we don't have a director, we don't have a cast, but this is essentially going to be circling around John Kent, who is the son of Superman and Lois, and Damian Wayne, who's the son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul. I don't know anything about it, so it's hard to get excited, but we'll give it the 13 because I'm going to enjoy it more, or rather, I'm going to look forward to it more than some Wonder Pets and some Ghoulish Kids. That's mean, but it's honest. Coming up on November the 4th, we're talking about The Flash. The Flash is going to be directed by Andy Muschietti, starring Ezra Miller, Kiersey Clemons, Ben Affleck, and Michael Keaton. This is going to definitely have some strong Flashpoint Paradox vibes. I'm digging it already. And it's going to have multiple Batmans in it, which means that we're definitely going to have another multiverse thing, which is probably like the 4th one in this list alone. Needless to say, even though I'm not the biggest DC head, this one does crack my top 5, coming in at the number 5 spot. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what The Flash has to offer in his first standalone film after having 2 long-running, well, I don't know if the first one's long-running, but 2 television shows. It's about time. Getting close to the end of this list, we are heading to Wakanda again with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This is slated for a November 11th release, directed by Ryan Coogler, who directed the first Black Panther movie. A lot of the same people are coming back: Lupita Nyong'o, Danai Gurira, Letitia Wright, Winston Duke. We're going back to Africa, and I have no clue in which direction they're going to go because the person who played T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, sadly passed away, and so we don't have anybody in that role. Hopefully they will cast somebody after this movie, or maybe they have cast and they're keeping it super hush-hush. But because we don't have that T'Challa, I gotta rate it at a number 3. It would have been number 2 had we had Chadwick Boseman, but you know, we gotta do what we gotta do, and I'm still looking forward to this movie. And last, but certainly not least, we have Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. This movie is coming out on December the 16th. Directed by James Wan, who directed the first Aquaman. This one stars Jason Momoa, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, Patrick Wilson, and Nicole Kidman. I had no clue what this movie has to offer. I did enjoy the first Aquaman, even though it had a very similar story to other comic book movies like the first Thor and like Black Panther. And I'm not saying that it copied Black Panther, because Black Panther copied Thor, and Thor copied The Lion King, and The Lion King copied Hamlet. So it's all pretty much the same story. But this one, hopefully we'll get something brand new as far as stories are concerned, or maybe a deviation from the norm. This one also lands right in the middle of the pack, getting in at the number 7. So there you have it. Those are the 15 comic book movies coming out, and there's one that I omitted, but I omitted it because it's not really a new release. Last year, Batman The Long Halloween had a part 1 and a part 2 that released. They're releasing both parts together in a 4K edition. I didn't include it because it technically was released last year, but if you're a fan of that, you can get it all together in the same way that Batman The Dark Knight Returns did that a few years back. I really enjoyed this movie, and if you're a fan of that, go ahead and get it. It's really, I enjoyed it a lot. And the art direction and the style, it all blends together, but I didn't include it here because it came out last year. But if this has given you some ideas of some comic book movies that you didn't know were coming out, hit that like or subscribe button. If your list of what you're excited for was different from mine, hit it up in the comment section down below. And share this with your friends so that you know and they know what's coming out this year. As always, this is Cameron with CBM Reviews. We'll see you next time.